What is up, my friends? All right, we're back on Thursday, as promised, and I have not looked at this final stack data yet. I feel like I'm doing one of those reaction videos, like first look. Yeah, so I did a normal integration, and I didn't stretch it, didn't look at it. You know, last week or Sunday we saw one night's worth of data, and that looked pretty good. But 3 nights, I got 220 subs. This is 18 and a half hours of integration. That's probably the longest set of good data I've gotten on a target. So let's see how it goes. So I'm probably going to do a somewhat standard workflow here. Like I said in the description, I'm not like a master at this application, but I've got like kind of a workflow that works for me. And it's kind of good enough to get done what I want. I am going to make a few changes. I got some new software to try today. Give it a go. Because I've been having some issues lately, and I'll talk about that. But anyway, we're going to wait on this to finish. As you can see, we're still drizzling. So I always, I will do a normal integration without drizzle, but I'll generate all the data, and then I'll do a drizzle integration. I'll just pick which one looks better. The drizzle integration tends to get me a little bit higher resolution, smooths out some of the noise. I know people are like, oh, number one thing, it needs to be undersampled data. I've been finding that the drizzle integration looks a little bit better to me, and it doesn't cost me anything extra, and it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference after. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I have no idea. But I typically do it anyway, and I'll pick the one that looks less noisy, basically, or that looks just better to my eye, and then I'll just process that one. I feel like a lot of people in this hobby get really fixated on what the right thing is to do, like, I guess scientifically. But like I said last time, I do this for fun, and whatever looks better to me, that's what I do. So yeah, I guess I'm partially a naturalist, but I may try something different for this image just because it's been in my head of something I want to do. And we'll give it a try. So we'll wait on this to run. Almost there. We're like halfway done. But we will see what happens. So in the meantime, I think usually what I do during these things is go to Astrobin, and I check out pictures of the target that I'm imaging, and then I'll just look at those. Oh man, thanks folks for your likes. I haven't been to the site in a few days, so I appreciate that. What is the image of the day? You got like the almost like a veil kind of idea, and then I have plate solve on it. We'll look at what this is. Anyway, that TS photo line 130, I almost bought that instead of my instead of the Esprit. But I actually talked to Telescope Service, and they're like, if you're between them and you have some of that longer photo length or focal length, because I do have an edge, like that one, the TS photo line 130 gives you a lot of options, especially with the reducer. You can almost shoot at like 3 or 4 different resolutions, including like that 550 overlap where the edge is. But because I do have other scopes, they're like, just go ahead and get the Esprit. Even if you don't buy it from us, I think you'll be happier with the Esprit, so get that. So, I mean, considering they told me to buy a scope that, I mean, they sell it, but it's not their house brand, I thought that was pretty awesome. I don't know who Pete XL is, but nice shot. Anyway, so what are we doing? So this region is the... So this is like tilt shifty. That's cool. So that's almost the same framing as I have. I'm a little bit closer. Apothecary, very Hubble palette, like very gold, and I think I'm going to do that with this one. I've been trying to perfect the methods of doing alternate colors because people get tired of looking at all red images. I think that's why the Hubble palette and HOO are kind of popular. So we'll play around with the colors today because that's really where the work comes in. Close to the same framing. I'm kind of like right here. Another Hubble palette-ish kind of image. I can't do it perfect because I'm in one-shot color. It's a 294. That's pretty cool. Doesn't have he's got lots of a couple of different types of star spikes here. I typically don't prefer star spikes, but I think I might do them on this one just because of the way the target looks. So I found a way to do those for software. I don't have a Newtonian, or I don't have any like spider veins on mine, so we'll take a look. I mean, that's pretty cool. I like the blue. And one thing I noticed about this image, and something I don't sometimes like about a lot of the denoising scripts, is how it makes a lot of the nebulosity look bumpy. It's almost like it's an oil painting. Sometimes I don't like that. It really depends on the image. At 145 out of 220, almost done. I kicked this off hoping it would be done by the time the stream started, but I guess I oopsed it. I oopsed by a couple of minutes. Shoot me later. All right, top pick. Richard Brandt. That's like ghostly. That's kind of cool. Very like black and whitey and a little bit of gold. 24 hours, 40 minutes. Man, I mean, that's a really cool image, but I would have like expected a lot more detail out of 24 hours of integration, especially 74 frames at 1,200 seconds. That's 20 minutes. I wonder why you need to. Really red stars. I mean, I'm not a critic, but I mean, I guess you end up getting conditioned to look for certain things when you look at these images. But like by going through these, it gives me a general idea of what I might want it to look like. This is a very like, wow, that's really sharpened 3D animation test. That's kind of cool. Like a lot of artifacts on the side though. I crop those. That crazy green that you sometimes get when you do color combination. I'm sorry, I'm getting over being sick. I don't know if you could hear it last week, but another image of the day. Oh, this must be a good one. Oh, it's so small. That's in 2012. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you prefer like the natural look of just the red, like the H alpha dominant look? Or I think that's why the Hubble palette's so popular. It just gives you something else to look at instead of always red. See, this is very like blue and gold-ish. I like the framing on this one. You can see a lot of the heart. And also, how much do we like or not like the hover over for all the annotations? At least it's not in this version. I don't want to zoom in, I just want to move it. That's cool, lots of good detail in there. "11-inch Rasa." I really need to start shooting in mono. as I get more like I continue to get more into it. Like I said, I do this for fun, but man, you just cannot ignore the results that people get from narrowband imaging or mono imaging. And there a lot of people say like, oh, it's a lot more work. I'm like, yeah, you're processing like triple or quadruple the images, but the batch pre-processing does not make that super difficult. But man, the results are so much better. Sort these. Different year. I mean, I've seen a lot of people post this. Yeah, there's a bunch. Oh, that's the one we looked at already. See, some of these like that real gold. Sometimes I can't get that with the one-shot color where you're doing the fake, where you're faking the S2. That one looks cool. It's nice and subtle. And I dig those colors. It's not too in your face. It's just there and it's not all red. So I'm kind of taking a minute. 207. We're almost there. I mean, what does take quite a while is the Denoise stuff. This one might be cool. That's cool. Like lots of nice detail in there. Did we already look at this one? Good job, Christoph. Nice work. Look at that detail in there. Great. And you can see even when you get into it, there's no like really smoothie artifacts. Alright, our image is done. But first, we want to see it now? We'll need that. Alright, first I'll take you through talk about how I structure my folders and integrate. So I use WBPP. A few times I have done the like everything by hand, and then I compared my WPP results, and I just can't tell the difference. So I just saved myself some time. So as you guys saw the multi-night video I did before, I've been using these session folders to go to directory, and since I was using this directory already to actually go ahead and do the calibration, because you guys don't want to sit here live and watch me go through calibration and twiddle my thumbs. There's enough of that when we do the Decon and Denoise. So I already did that part. So what I do is I organize all my files by sessions with the _N1. That's kind of a holdover from when I was faking it with the ASI or Pro. But I have my lights, flats, and flat darks all in those folders because I get my regular darks out of a calibration library. So I just add these folders. Bam. Directory. Night 2. Bam. Night 3. Bam. All right, so we got the 3 nights. I have a standard folder template that I use that has 4 nights of folders in it, just because I don't know how many I'm gonna do. But I didn't do all 4 nights. So I know that it's in there, but I always put the scheme in there. Apply to all lights. Yes. I need to add my darks, so add our darks in there. Creation library, dark library. 300 seconds. Okay. All right, so here everything is calibrating the way it should. My darks are applicable across all 3 nights, and my flats and flat darks are calibrating with each other. So I always just apply the standard cosmetic correction. Waiting for there's nebula. I don't know how much of that metal is generating drizzle data. Everything else is how it's supposed to be. Right? So that's all I do. Diagnostics come back clean. I didn't do biases. That's what I use my flat darks for. And I'm ready to run. I do blink my lights first. So I blink all the lights and make sure there's some that don't need to be thrown out. I throw those out before I do any of this, but they're all natively in the folder structure. So I just hit run. Like, that's how fast the calibration is. It's not something to stress over. I've done lots of tweaking and all this other mess, and you know, really where I have everything now is fine for me. It could be wrong, but I'm okay with the results. Anyway, that's where we are. Are we ready to see? And then I do integration after that. I don't do image integration in WBPP. I do it after, because I'll use like the bi-weight mid-variance, then I'll do the MAD, and then I'll try Winsor Sigma clipping. But I have a lot of data, so I did the generalized standard deviation or studentized deviation, whatever it is. I did that one on this one just because I had tons of data, and I usually compare them, and I just kind of make a judgment call at the time. All right, here we go. And we will unlink our screen transfer function. Oh, it's upside down. Hold on. That's rotation. All right, that's the framing I wanted. So, I mean, looks pretty good. Not too noisy. Nice detail in there. Not as good as that other one. But I feel like that looks really good. Nice. I'm happy with that. I mean, it looks like just like the one we looked at on Sunday, just a lot more detail and a lot more depth to it. I don't know if it comes through on the stream, but I'm very pleased with that. Got a little bit of stacking artifacts on the left, but not too bad. But you can't really see any on the right. So this is like as it came out of the camera. This is the full frame, and I think I'm gonna process the whole thing except for that garbage on the left there. That looks fine. So the regular integration looks about the same. Uh-oh. Ooh. That was a close one. No. I think my PixInsight just crashed. It may have. Everything's working on this end. Yep. PixInsight just took a doo-doo. This has been happening lately. All right, so here's what I'll do. I will be right back. What I'll do is I'll put this on be right back. And I will bounce this and then come back. Hang on one second. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. That's unfortunate. So, I mean, this has happened to me occasionally here and there. Like I could run PixInsight for weeks, and then of course I'm right here in the middle of streaming and it blows up. But I bet I'm gonna have to reprocess all this stuff. Because PixInsight doesn't save automatically. Thanks, man. All right, so we'll get that kicked off. Anyway, about with the crashes, that I think there's when I look at the error logs, it's an OpenGL error that basically crashes my graphics card, and it's like a memory out of bounds kind of thing. So one of two things is there's a memory leak in PixInsight, but you know, I've seen people post about issues and the PixInsight folks always blame something else. But when you look in the event viewer, there's always occasionally something in there that illustrates a problem with the application. But what I'll do is I'm gonna take a little break and look some stuff up while this runs, and I will be back. It'll probably take, you know, we're at 12 of 220. It'll probably take 5 minutes or so. I'm gonna go make sure it wasn't something else. I'm gonna remotely look through the logs while you guys are doing this, and then I'll be right back. Cool. All right, I'm back. Yeah, sorry, that was wonder what that's gonna look like on YouTube. YouTube is a little bit weird. It took me a while to come back because you have to schedule streams on here. It's hard to go live immediately, particularly with the software I use, because like I said last time, I typically stream on Twitch, and with Twitch you just, as soon as you start sending a signal, it puts you live. So I wonder if there's gonna be like a break in the video somewhere. But anyway, super weird. It happens from time to time. It sucks. But yeah, just unfortunate it happened while I was live on the internet. It's pretty awesome. Love it. But now we got to sit here while this does its thing again. My bad. I should watch this back. still like, so it's stuck. So it was 25 minutes of me talking and then boom, done. I'll probably have to delete that. But we won't do it now. We're back. It's all good. Anyway, big apologies there, folks. There's not much I can do. I heart PixInsight. I really do. Good thing Thursday nights are my have a beverage and play around on the internet day. Be hard to do it without be hard to take that without a beverage. But it's all good. I'm happy with the way that image came out. Like, super pleased. And we'll see what we can do with it. You know what? I wonder if YouTube will let me combine those two videos. So we could watch it crash live. Did one integration, zooming in, looking around, boom, GPU's dead. Come on, man. Like I said, that only happens occasionally. They're like, oh, are your drivers in your computer up to date? Yes, they're up to date. Oopsie. Yeah, drivers are good. See? I'm gonna make sure my name was in there. I mean, not like anybody cares, but what? Alright, hopefully it doesn't crash. One theory I have is sometimes the application will crash when you are not in the application doesn't have focus. And by focus I mean like the window is not active. I have at like sometimes at the end of like a process, if I'm doing something in another window and it finishes, it'll crash. That wasn't the case there because I was actively fooling around in PixInsight, so that was super weird. Anyway, we're almost there. We can go back to the bin. Oh. What are the odds, dude? Really? All right, so put that video private. So I want to go back and watch it before if I let it sit, it'll be because look funny. I'm not really sure, like the way my stream works is like this computer you're looking at is just the one I operate on. Like it's not running my webcam. It does run my microphone, mostly because when I play video games, like I don't want to have both PCs on when I'm using my mic to talk to my friends. But like the display and everything is routed to another PC that handles the stream. That's where all that's being handled. So my voice probably cut out when it crashed, maybe. I'd have to see. But Yeah, I'm sure just like the screen went white and then got dark and then everything went away except for my face and you could still hear me talking, very likely. But yeah, the GPU, it kills the GPU and then weird stuff just ensues and I gotta bounce the whole machine for it to work. Top pick. This is cool, very painting-y. You can see this is like a lot of the denoising, and you get this when you use the topaz. Like everybody talks so much about it, so I got it because they have like, that's cool detail though. Lots of sharp detail in there, but very like everything's just so smooth. I'm not sure if I like it or not. And true wavelength colors, what's that mean? Maybe I'm too dumb to figure that out. Oh, it's done. We're done. All right, don't crash again. Please. Oops. RGGB, so much green. It's upside down. It's upside down. Fast rotate. 180. Do it. All right. Now, if PixInsight crashes on me, I'm going to be mad. I shouldn't sit on my foot because it'll be tired after this. I don't want my foot falling asleep while we're sitting here doing our thing. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. What we will do, first thing we'll do is we will cut this stuff off on the side, but I want to keep this full frame, so pull it up again. All right, there we are, looking good. I mean, at this point, so I save as JPEG, and we're done. It ain't bad. I'm okay with it. Oops. Maybe I zoomed in too much, and PixInsight didn't like it. Anyway, all right. Standard workflow. What I've done is I usually do now, instead of running a bunch of different background things, I do the color calibration first. I've seen a couple people do it that way, so we'll just PCC it. Fire from image. Okay, go. A lot of people have been saying that the ASIR Pro records the focal length incorrectly, and it's actually like it looks to me like it's a combinatory problem between the way PixInsight reads stuff and the way ASIR Pro puts it. Like they've got like a float versus int problem, but my PCC works fine. It's pulled the correct focal length 1508 out of the metadata, so you know, maybe it's just a view thing or something. I don't know. But everything's been working fine for me. Occasionally it'll bork, but that's usually not because of the metadata. Do not crash again. You see how it changed colors just then? You scare me, man. You scare me. And this is a good PC. Talk about. But yeah, this is like literally pretty much a brand new PC. So I've got 64 gig of RAM. It's Ryzen 3950. Mostly because the 5950s weren't available during like the big processor crunch when I was trying to buy a new computer. GeForce RTX 30 and EVGA GeForce RTX 3070 Ultra. A pretty good GPU. Everything else is, I mean, it's not a slouch computer. But they have the tendency to recommend do not crash. They have the tendency to recommend some crazy specs if you're not using Unix or Linux, so not using BSD, Red Hat or something. Am I making my GPU weird? What's going on here? It's done. Feet stretch, looking good. And what that does, like, so now if we link the channels, you get that real red, kind of, that's how the nebula looks in real life kind of look, right? And it looks good. You do the kind of unlink stretch, that's where we are. We got that kind of more like bluey beige look, which I think it's pretty cool. It's a good alternate to the all red. So let's go ahead and do our other things. I don't think we need to do any background extraction here. Like that mistiness, I think, is part of the nebulosity. We're so all up in the business of this of this nebula. I don't have like lots of sky in the background that I need to mess with, so I'm gonna skip that part. So just for shiggles, we'll do the easy Decon and easy Denoise. These take a while, but it's not quite as long as if I do it by hand. So they do the Decon first and the Denoise. The one thing I'm a little bit worried about though is on some of the larger stars. Sometimes the easy Denoise script will have the tendency to leave out some of the real big stars. So that if they're like really big in the image, like these ones over here, sometimes it will clean up around them in the process star mask, but leave the inside open. And then if you just run it with default settings, it'll leave like a prism-y center. And I'm not 100% sure how to fix that. You can go and edit the star mask and fix it, but then you sometimes get like this de-ringing garbage that, you know, looks a little bit rough. So that's good. This star mask, like I can make this bigger. It covered up all my stars. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. So by just the defaults are looking okay. Create our background mask, which is required now. So if you watch some of the tutorials, I guess it wasn't there before. I don't know. You could spend some time playing with these, whether or not it's beneficial or not. I see a lot of people that do their processing just with defaults, so that's what I do. Okay. Do it. So that's going to take a minute. Oh, oops. I left it on 46 iterations because I was testing it with, I was doing something else a couple of weeks ago and I forgot. It's okay. It'll still look fine. It's just going to take a little bit longer. I think the default is 10. And when I see a lot of people do Decon, they say you should do between 40 and 50 iterations. I think that's what I was doing. And that setting carried over, but it's all right. If something looks wonky when we're done, I'll just skip it and I'll do it later. See what else we got here. Looking for somebody with framing similar to mine. That's pretty close. Just the camera is oriented a little bit differently. That's real close. That looks good. That's pretty much what I got. I dig it. I'm down, sir. Yeah, like I thought these 3 stars here were some kind of like tracking artifact, but looks like if other people have it, it's not my bad. Not my bad. Ooh, that's a cool one. Also all up in the business. Yeah, that one's really saturated. Like he was messing with it and came up with a less saturated version. It's interesting all the different tastes that people have when it comes to astrophotography images, right? Like you've got, I mean, I would say, what percentage of you guys do we see here is in alternate color palettes? I would say at maybe 60%. This one's fairly standard. And I searched for ones just this year before I think I did. Right here. Okay, we're at 38 to 46. See, this computer chugs. Like, I mean, it's going pretty good. And Decon takes a hot minute. Yeah, see, that's cool. So he's got the standard like H alpha red, but then there's like some other nice nebulosity of alternate coloring in there. Maybe it's like a HOO. Yeah, it's probably HOO because he shot it with 2 filters. Just H alpha and O3. Whoa, this is like the evil version. Whoa. Dark side. That's neat. So H alpha O3 and S2. How do you get it's black? So spooky, black and red. It's like the Darth Vader version. Pretty cool. Alright, let's see how our image did. And here's the original. Usually get rid of these. Because one thing I have noticed is if I leave all these big images up, particularly with I'm doing multiple colors. Can we tell the difference between these two? Yes, we can. It's very subtle. But if you look here, 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 and like right along this like snake tail, you're getting a little bit more detail out of there. There's a little bit of artifacty stuff, but it's not too noticeable unless you're all up in the business. You can't see that from where the I'm not gonna do it now, but I may go back that down so it doesn't have quite those artifacts, but I think it's okay. But see, that Decon did get us a little bit more sharpness here. I'll hang on to that guy because I'm gonna need him later. I'm not gonna make Elle sit through that while I redo it. Because Denoise comes next. And I usually just like leave this one the way it is and just blast through it. And let it do its business. Man, I closed my search. Come on, dude. Flex range, current year, search. All right, what page are we on? So I like seeing all these different colorways, or ways of interpreting how to use the data, because it just gives me ideas, right? I get an idea for what I like. Like, I don't know, do I really like these super saturated versions? I don't know. And I think that's what I was getting to earlier when the image finished, is that everybody's got their own style. Like, this is cool. Like, you see a lot of cool depth here, like where like my image is like this square right here. But like, you get a lot of cool depth out of it. But is it really, really bright? Yeah. Is it cool? Yeah. Does it look natural? I don't know. But like in particular, like if you, the other day, I was looking at the APODs, right? The astrophotography photo of the day. Here's M15. Like, I was looking at some of these. If you look at the APODs, the two guys that pick them, if this is the right one, they really, really, really like the star spikes. Like, All right, here's today, Dolphin Nebula. So, I mean, this is cool. I want to shoot it, but look, star spikes and saturated. Where's the archive? Head nebula? I thought it was a dolphin head nebula. Okay. Okay, that one's cool. Star spikes. That's cool. Holy crap. Did a regular person take this one? Like some Hubble stuff right there, boy. Awesome. GC 289. 70 million light years. I don't think I could reach that sucker. Have to look that up. Helix Nebula. That's cool. Lots of cool detail in there. I need to shoot the helix with my edge. All right, so here's okay. Of course, when I look at a whole bunch of pictures for a while, I see that they have everything with star spikes, and here's one that doesn't have them. That's pretty awesome. But very super saturated, like lots of dark structure enhance going on there, but it looks awesome. Cool. Lake Louise, probably shouldn't have clicked on that one. East of the lagoon. Star spikes. So yesterday I downloaded a trial of the Photoshop plugin that makes star spikes, because like if you want to submit anything to like a magazine or to APOT, it's got to have star spikes. It has to. It's cool, but if you're like a purist, like I don't know, like I've never done the star spikes intentionally. Like super awesome. It's like a waterfall of gas and dust. It's so cool. It's the bottom of the Orion. So cool. But the star spikes, man. Star spikes. They love it, dude. I'm telling you. This is cool. Is this the yeah, this is a Hubble image for processing. I've done some of those on stream before, where I've gone through and picked out some Hubble stuff. The galaxies smacked into each other, super cool, but look at there. M33. So cool triangle showing the molecular clouds, but looky. Star spikes. So note to self, if you want to make an APOD at NASA, you need to have highly saturated image with star spikes. So I'm just making jokes at this point, but I mean, the preponderance of images that you see on there they're very colorful and they have star spikes. I mean, maybe that just makes like an attractive photo, I guess. Like I always err on the side of like a chiller processing. Is that the right word? Like things that look natural to my eye, I guess, like not too aggressive, or like how I kind of saw it. And I guess everybody gets their style. See, here's one. This is good though. Like lots of dark structure in here. Around the Pelican Nebula, North America. Like that Cygnus Wall type area is super, super popular because it's got lots of really cool stuff. Rubin's Galaxy. That's a NASA photo. I've seen that one. I've pulled that data to process it before. It's pretty cool. I went through a stretch of where it was really, 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 really bad weather constantly. But you do notice that in a lot of NASA stuff, you'll get some of those star spikes out of the raw data, and I think it's just because of the imaging apparatus that was used. And there's some that have like that indicator finger that sticks into it. And I found somebody on a website said, here's the settings you use to smooth that out, and then the break. It works really good with the healing brush. Some people leave it in. I was playing with taking it out. But look, star spikes. Man, how many of these we got to click on, man? Rosetta? I mean, tell me. Like, I don't think there's anybody here now because nobody's talking, but tell me in the comments. Do you like the star spikes? Do you like it more natural? What do you prefer? What makes a good image to you? Lighting galaxies. See, they got some subtlety there, but this is the main feature. M16 close up. See? Oh, this has got a lot of cool rainbow look, but star spikes are in there. But the reason I looked, I had been noticing that while looking through the photos. Like, here's a starless version. That's pretty cool. A lot of people are posting starless version. M51. That's pretty awesome. Man, I wonder, is that not... That looks like Hubble data. But like, here's star spikes in the bottom corner. I was like, oh, there's no spikes in here. Here's some. Never mind. It's just 2 or 3 stars. 1, 2, 3. Have them. But like if you're talking to somebody in astroform, they actually like absolutely like rip you to shreds, like for having the sky to be black, super black. Space isn't black. Yes, I get it, but look at the contrast that this dude pulled out. I really swear. Is this Hubble data, or did this guy take that? Because that's tons of detail and color. Tons. I have to go check that out. Druidus. Astro Gallery. Where's his photo? Galaxies. You got your A-pod, dude. Let me see. One. A little bit wild. So we're 2 channels down. You can see it in the corner there. 2 out of 3. Here it is, right here. Show me that one. Did you take this, or is it Hubble data? Usually they credit Hubble though. This image selected is the astrophotography picture. They got it. Yeah. Okay. From an observatory. "24-inch f6.5 reflector. 34 hours. 12 hours of lume. 8 hours of H alpha and 14 hours of RGB. I mean, that throwing that H alpha in there along with the individual imaging or the individual RGB channels, that's how you get that color. So cool though, man. But space is super black and you got all that color out of you, but guess what? It makes the colors pop, dude. If you put all that work in to get those colors, yeah, dude. For sure. Throw it out there. Cool. Gravitational lensing with star spikes. So we'll do spikes in this one. I promise. That's why yesterday I got the little app. I got the little app so I could do it. 77% done on channel 2. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to, afterwards on YouTube, I'll try to merge those two videos together. I think that was pretty unfortunate. You got to stop and restart the stream, reboot my computer, fix PixInsight. Super, really impressive, and a good time to do it. Thanks, PixInsight. Anyway, I'm having fun at this point. This part takes quite a while. Sometimes on stream I don't do easy. I might do the decon. I might do it by hand. That takes about 15 minutes or so. But there's a lot of sitting around that happens when you do like the easy denoise or TGB denoise and all that stuff during like a live stream, right? So some of the processing videos are about an hour long. That's fine. We're at an hour now, and I've done 2 steps out of the workflow. But honestly, this is like the longest part. When I take a lot of data and the data looks good like that, I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it's good. One-shot color from my backyard. It doesn't take a long time to process it, and I'm happy. Most of the time is spent fooling around with the colors in the middle. And I think because this has taken a while, I might skip that. We'll see. Yeah, sometimes I use a different noise reduction method, and then I'll use Topaz afterwards. Because I did get that out of a bundle. You just have to be careful with it because it does give that pastel-y feel, and I don't really like it. I know a lot of people put their images up with that. I'm not a huge fan. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe that's something people like. But I like them to look like I actually took a picture of them, right? Not, granted, there's tons of processing that happen with these, but if it looks less like a picture and more like a painting, it's too far for me. I don't remember who I was watching when I first got into astrophotography that talked about that concept, but I most certainly agree. I'm probably still forming my own personal style. I'm still a beginner. I consider myself a beginner at this, but I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I'm a fan of those like real dark blacks when it makes the object pop. I like that. But I try and keep the sky gray. I try not to mess with stuff too much. But I think for this one, we'll try star spikes, and maybe I'll submit it for an APOD, and I'll be able to prove my case. I'll submit a bunch of pictures, a whole bunch with no star spikes, and then that one, and see if one gets picked. I'm not good enough to get the astrophotography picture of the day, but it would be fun. It would be funny. I've been submitting pictures for 15 years, and finally I submit one with star spikes, and it gets the picture of the day. I hope I'm not like flaming somebody's friend that is going to end up watching this. And they're like, no, we totally, those guys are so awesome. We love star spikes. You suck. All right, almost done. Halfway there on the last channel. On the struggle bus of waiting. See what else we got here. All right, who wants to make a bet with me? Make a bet. Star spikes? Maybe we should come up with a new rock, paper, scissors. Star spikes, Hubble palette, dark sky, and then we'll see who wins. Or black background. All right, ready? Place your bets. But this is from Hubble. We can't do that one. Oh, that's cool. What is that? Image credit, NASA. You guys are cheating. Huge budget. All kinds of time. That's really awesome, then. In the microgravity, the air-filled ISS, however... Oh, blah, blah, blah. Flames are spheres. Fires the rapid acquisition of oxygen, and space flames meet new oxygen molecules when they float by randomly in all directions, creating the envelope sphere. This image was taken in the ISS combustion integration rack. Sweet. I thought you don't want fire on this space station. I guess they do it. Careful. All right, deep sky toward Andromeda. Ready? Rochambeau. That's cool. Nobody wins. It's cool. It's like all the stuff you're looking through toward Andromeda. Is that like... I want them to have... Is there a place that has the... You have to click on the person's website to see the acquisition details? Yes. I've already gone through some of those. All right, ready? Little sombrero with supernova. Ready? Rochambeau. Got 2 out of 3. It's a cool picture though. That's the thing. Like shooting sombrero, like my first sombrero had like the big dome on it, and I thought that was cool. Then I'm like, all right, let me see if I can reduce it and still get the glow and that really like that knife edge of the sombrero. Because mine doesn't look quite like that. Is this Hubble data? Chart 32 team. Yeah, that I think that's Hubble data. Anyway. It's not quite that knife edge, like it was like real flat for me. Like I can almost see into the disc a little bit when I shot it, but like you get that star on the inside or in back in here, and you still get that light, but not quite as aggressive as like the big dome around it, and like the knife edge of the galaxy itself. Like it's tough to shoot, but we got 2 out of 3 here. But it's cool, right? Like if you get that, you have that real cool, neat detail. You have the nice like glow around the galaxy. Of course, you have the real dark sky and the star spikes, but that's what makes it look cool. If you made the background, the sky gray, like space gray, it just doesn't pop, right? So I think it's like artist prerogative. But man, people do poop on you when your sky's black, don't they? Bring Nebula from Hubble. Nope. Typhid Nebula. All right, ready? Rochambeau. Star spikes. Very saturated, but freaking awesome. Mike Selby with amazing photo. Typhid Nebula. Super cool. Like, look at that. Looks like a... Like you can... Like a ball you grab on the inside, like a bucket. Amazing shot. So cool though. But star spikes. Pick another one. Thor's helmet. Rochambeau. Here we go. Ooh, there's one. We got nothing. We got the saturation, I guess. But that's cool. All up in the business of Thor's helmet. That's really neat. Ooh, our image is done. Cool. How we did smooth out some of that noise. Still got some of that mess there. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll go back and do it again. But what I'll do is when you save these images, you save the process steps. So what I'll do is I will fix this little bit of ringing I get on around the stars, and then I'll just apply the same things I did tonight to that new one. That'll work. All right, here we go. I've done all the things. Now we stretch. Soft stretch makes life easy. It's gonna make it red though. Which is fine. Because next we're gonna do the Lukomatico, I think is his name, Luke method of doing the Hubble palette. So we will use our channel extraction. All right. So So look how contrasty that red is, and you get a little bit less contrast out of here, and then the blue is even less. The blue is really noisy compared to these other ones. So I think that's why people toss this data. I think one night when I have a good bit of time, like there is a good bit of stuff there. It's very similar to what I have in the green. Like these two are really close together. The green's a lot less noisy. Like if we look at the we got like the blue greens probably mixed together from the H beta and O3. Yeah, H alpha and S2, that's probably just all up in the red channel. So what we will do is, per recommendations and what has been working really well for me, I'm gonna name that B for blue, but not B because I'm gonna use the B for these other ones. We're gonna make some changes. I want you know, per the same workflow that Luke does, I want the green to look a lot like this, the red, right? So it's going to be kind of contrasty, like the very strong difference between the two. We're going to stretch it a little bit. So we're going to do that first. And I clicked on the wrong thing. They're pretty close already. I could probably take it a little bit more. Else. Those are fairly close. So what we'll do is we will synthesize our new blue channel. So do we want to stick with 60-40 or go 70-30? A lot of people just do 60-40. I've tried 70-30. I've tried 80-20 on the percentages. Let's just do the 60-40. Let's just do the standard thing that... Call it B. Excuse me. All right, that's our new blue channel. So I'll minimize those. That's our original blue. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save this project in case something blows up. Save it as don't crash. Access is denied. What? Unable to access is denied. Is this directory full? No. I have a terabyte of storage remaining. All right, here's what I'll do. I will save this. Why couldn't I save a project? All right, I'll save that. So at least we're there. We don't have to save the whole project. Fine. Okay. It's the night for PixInsight to be weird while live on YouTube. Thanks. Appreciate you. All right. LRGB combination. Red, red, blue. Prominence noise reduction on, left at defaults. This is the Lukomatico method and it works really well. So we'll do that. Is it Lukomatico? Isn't that his name? Yes, it is Lukomatico. Good one-shot color narrowband method. Other folks, like I have the 4X, SHO and HO, but when I cut and pasted those formulas, they require a naming convention. But what I do is sometimes when I get these red, blue, green images, I'll name them the H alpha S2 and O3. Excuse me, and then I'll play with it, and I'll do his two methods. I'll try some other stuff on my own, mess with the formulas. But that kind of takes a minute. Don't style my image, sir. Yeah, see, in this process, you get some borking with the metadata from ASIR Pro. Did I click the square before? Maybe I did. You have to be careful. Like LRGB combination, you use the square or the circle, the global context. And when you use like pixel math, it doesn't work. I think I could be completely wrong. All right, there we go. Ooh. So this looks like the way they come out. It doesn't have a lot of blue in it, but we can fix that pretty much using kind of the standard. But the first thing we're going to do is we are going to, you know what? Before I split those, I should have nuked the stars. Sorry. So I've been using the Star Exterminator. I just got it yesterday and I tried it on some older image. It is way better than StarNet. I've been having the issue lately where on some of my images, it leaves all these little dots behind them on the bright stars. And they really geek up my image, my processing later, because when I'm pushing and pulling, like that looks perfect. The stars are gone. There's no funky artifacts remaining. When some of the images, like if I ran StarNet on this, there's like little dots behind the bright stars, and then when you start pushing and pulling on the image, when you put the stars in, you could see it through there and it looks really weird. So I would prefer not to do that. The Star Exterminator choice works really well and it's hella fast. You know, I've got all the CUDA support for StarNet, but this runs, you just saw it's like a million times faster. All right, so we'll go with this one. Curves. Need a preview. All right, we're gonna push our blues. Bar. Sky back down. All right, that looks good. I mean, it just like light touches. The whole thing up a little bit. Too much, too much. Lightly saturate. I'm gonna go too far. Nope. No, what do we think? I think that looks pretty good because we can play with the saturation later. I feel like that looks pretty good. Like I said, I like it to be somewhat subtle. But man, like got some really good detail in there. I can see almost the geometry of it. This looks real nice. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Let's just be subtle. I don't want to go too crazy. Where are my stars? There's my stars. All right. I mean, I think that looks good. I mean, for my first run, I try to do like as light touches as possible unless it's really rough data. But I feel like because this is 18 hours of data and I've got the depth that I want, I don't want to go too crazy on the processing. I'll do a little bit of sharpening after this. But I feel pretty good about that. I think I feel good about it. So let's put our stars back in. But I'm going to do a little star reduction first. So easy star reduction doesn't like when you just do it on the stars, like on the star mask, but it works. So median lower than 0.1, unlikely this is linear, only works on nonlinear. Okay. So it's going to use StarNet to create the star mask, which is fine. It just gives you that complaint. But the one thing I like doing, I kind of like reducing the stars by itself. I don't know if it's right or not. It works. I just decided to try it one day. I feel like sometimes when you do some restars, it leaves those little dots, and maybe that's from my StarNet issues with like the nebula part. So I'm going to have to go back and, you know, when I have some time and not live necessarily in front of you guys, where I'm just like sitting here looking at myself experimenting. Figure out, you know, what the deal was. But you can run the star reduction just on the stars, and then I'll pop them back in. Like I could legitimately be ticking everyone off. mean, I ain't complaining. I feel like that looks fairly good for what amounts to about 45 minutes of processing. Right, and we can push the saturation a little bit. And it reduced the stars enough. They're like these little dots here, but they're nice and prominent where they need to be. And that's pretty nice. So do a little bit of sharpening. I always like to check. For some reason I just don't like that. Too much sharpening. Like some light touches on this. Like this is too crazy. I feel like that's even too much sharpening because it gives you like these bumpy things. This is just another feel thing. It's what you like. Like I feel like even that's a little bit too much. Go in between. 2, 3. I mean, it's in 720p. You guys probably can't even tell the difference. But I'm gonna do that one. Go with it. But like pulling this much data is like legitimately makes things easy. I probably could play with it a little bit more. Let's do a little bit light with the dark structure enhance. It just brings out maybe a little bit more contrast there. Yeah, it's not terrible. Yeah, it just gave it a little bit more contrast, and that's what I wanted. Like when you, I feel like if I left it at default, it would have been too much. But it just left. It got a little bit of that dark, these dark pieces right here, just to give it a little bit more contrast. Yeah, just a little bit. Light touches, I think, is good thing. All right. So let us add our star spikes. First thing I'm going to save this in its natural form. Save it as a TIFF so I can get into Photoshop. (16-bit) so it doesn't blow up. Oh, oopsie. Pro Digital Star Spikes Pro. I feel like that's too much. I think you can pick some to hide. Like, this is way too many. It's like, looks like a Christmas tree. Rid of that one. What do you think of that? That's cool. You are camera raw, which is kind of like where you can make some final tweaks here. A little purpley. Yeah, I don't want it to be oversaturated. Yeah, all good. All right. Here we go. So that's probably not my final. It came out a little bit more purpley. I think when I brought it into Photoshop, like, does it look like that in PixInsight? Yeah, it does. So it looks a little bit more purpley, but it's cool. I may try to go back and make it a little bit less HO looking and more bubble-esque, where that's more gold. But I'm kind of okay with how that came out. Yeah, so this is kind of gold, and when I started pushing stuff, it didn't stay gold. So what I may do is try to push up the blue and keep that gold. But I think this looks pretty cool. Okay with it. So here's our work tonight. First look, I'll probably process this 3 or 4 times before I'm happy with it. And we'll see how we do. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I think that's going to be it for me tonight. Apologies for the issues with PixInsight crashing. I'll probably have to go through and fix these videos and then figure out what the problem was. I may download the 2 live videos and then replace it, like merge them together and then replace it just for continuity's sake. So anyway, that's basically an hour of processing this, and it's a pretty good result. I'm happy with it. it looks pretty cool. I'm down. And I put star spikes so I'm eligible for the astrophotography picture of the day. Anyway, I'm just playing. It was a really tough day for me today. I'm pretty tired, but I told you guys I was going to come on and do some live processing of this data that was collected. So here it is. It looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. I'll probably process it a whole bunch more times before I'm finally happy with it. So anyway, hope to see you again sometime, and maybe you'll see the final image someday here on the channel. I'm gonna pop in and do a short and say, hey, this is the final one that I like. Anyway, thanks so much, and we will see you next time.